What's up, guys? I just want to take some time today to revisit a concept called capacity. This is something that I kind of put away for a long time throughout my self-development thing. But I went to an event yesterday and I was reminded of it. And then today I kind of noticed its actual importance, and it's something that I think could have helped me figure a lot of stuff out way sooner. And so I'd like to share that with you, and hopefully it helps. So yeah. This is a topic that Tony Robbins talks a lot about, so I got to give credit there. You know, Tony Robbins, pretty cool guy. He was actually the first thing I ever experienced with self-improvement. I watched his Netflix movie twice. And one day I'll do the full story of like how I went from this to this, and then goals for the future, right? But it's pretty cool. It's pretty important. I thought it was interesting. And so I went to an event of his yesterday, and I was reminded of the concept of capacity, and I saw it today, right? So here's how I saw it today. I was in boxing class, trying to learn that. And it's been really, really fun. Something that I recommend to everyone. And I'll get into why and XYZ eventually. But we're learning the combos, right? They're teaching all these different combos. And I found myself getting very frustrated because it felt like I wasn't picking it up quick enough before we moved on to the next one. And then I noticed that made me very frustrated, right? I'm kind of that type of way where I'll get frustrated because of stuff like that. And so I actually just felt the frustration and just let go. And then of thinking like, okay, 1, 2, this. And when you just let that go and you kind of go smooth, you pick it up, and I got the combos perfectly, right? Like, it's very interesting. And so the goal for this video is for you guys to understand capacity, how to use it to force growth. And the main takeaway I want you guys to learn is how to learn something, gain experience, and regroup. And then I'll introduce a concept that's been very helpful for me, for my dad's background in DevOps and like all sorts of stuff in corporate America, right? He worked in corporate America for a long time. So they do this sort of stuff at high level management and stuff like that. And so I've actually been privileged enough to learn a lot of those lessons. And so I'll share some of those with you because the way that those guys do it is a little less on the self-development part and more on the managerial development part. But if you plan to be a leader or something, it's pretty important. So, drew it out here. So here is, you've got two systems, right? You've got your physical system and you got your mental system, right? And so when you're trying to grow and you're trying to develop yourself, it's really easy to fill this guy up, and then this guy doesn't get it, and then there's an incongruency, right? The capacity of here is really easy to fill and keep filling. The capacity here gets full pretty quick and takes some time to rest and to recuperate. So this can keep growing. This doesn't grow as fast, and that's why you see a lot of people fail with self-improvement, right? They start in the gym or something and they don't actually get the results as quick, but they could know all the right info, right? Like, you could know the perfect diet, you could know the perfect exercise routine, this and this and this, but if this isn't picking up quick enough to this, it oftentimes fails because of self-limiting beliefs and lack of identity and all that sort of stuff, which there's videos on that. And someday I'll do a full long form, like probably 4 hours of like, how does this actually all work? What are some tricks and tips to kind of trick the mind and stuff? But you get that kind of that picture, right? Or sometimes this can overdevelop and this can underdevelop, right? That's also something that happens too. You see with people that have like childhood issues and stuff, like this can develop, but this can't. And so I want to teach you guys a quick tip to understand this. It's important that you understand this because you can actually use it to force growth within yourself, right? So the biggest thing that you can do in the self-improvement, and the thing that makes it not very good sometimes, is the fact that there's all the info out there, right? I'm teaching you guys all the info that I've condensed over probably 10,000 hours of watching and learning and trying and exploring concepts and seeing if they lined up. And I'm just going to teach you guys the biggest takeaways for me, my experience in my life. But the thing is, it's so easy to fill this, and then if this doesn't catch up, self-improvement doesn't work. You see what I mean? So I want to introduce what's called a PDCA cycle, a plan, do, check, act cycle. That's kind of going to help you guys put one thing that you want to prioritize, right? Say the best thing to start out with and the easiest thing to start out with, like, because you could still have like your Taco Bell job or whatever, is the gym. It's just the easiest. It's probably the thing that I recommend people do first. Besides identity, right? You need to find identity and you need to do that. And I have videos on that. But you've got to find, the first thing is just easiest is fitness, because it's the first thing that you can actually learn something, implement, regroup. But you actually have to give yourself necessary time before you keep learning. So try, like, set something that you can do that is, like, for me, the first thing I ever wanted to do was if I can lose 25 pounds. If I can lose 25 pounds. I thought it was going to be difficult, but difficult enough that, like, okay, if I can do that, that's something. And it was just a first thing to chip away at. And so I had lose 25 pounds by winter break of school. And I was currently 285 pounds. And I was like, okay, this is a feasible goal. And so I learned the necessary information. Then you have to stop learning and just do. It's very difficult. But stop learning everything. Don't try and go from, like, this is the best advice I could give to anyone. It's like, learn a basic enough workout split, try it. See what happens. Did you reach it or did you not reach it, right? That's plan, do. Then we're gonna check. Okay, in the allotted time, which should always be for the first thing you try, 90 days, man. 90 days is enough time to actually get results. But in the beginning, just building the habit, 30 days. Fair enough, right? The plan, right, is, did I get XYZ result in 30 days? Okay, so we're gonna check. What did I do? What do I feel like is holding me back? Have I not been fucking doing my diet right? Have I not been doing the cardio I know I'm supposed to be doing? What is actually happening that didn't get me from here to here? And you have to come from a place of humility, right? Which is why we talk about the identity. Because you have to be able to be honest with yourself and tell yourself the full truth. The full truth is that you probably didn't get there because you cheated on your diet, or you probably didn't get there because you only went 14 days. You didn't go the full 30 and you made excuses. And then you got to check that, and you got to act again and readjust, right? Based on what you've checked, learn a little bit more, readjust. But don't spend your time basically like learn, do a little, learn way too much more, and then do a little. Another concept of this is, right, like in the self-improvement space, there's this huge push on, like, you got to go full monk mode, you got to go this and this and this and this and cut everyone off and this and this and this. I did it, it works, but if you're gonna do that sort of thing, man, you have to be coming from a place where you've done something and experienced you going out and getting success at something. If you just do it, you're going to take where you're full at capacity of maybe like hanging with friends and watching videos and doing this, going to the movies, hanging out with this so-and-so and all these things. And you're gonna empty that capacity and just refill it with things that aren't actual action-based steps because you don't know the actions yet, right? So if you're just gonna fill it with more learning, you're just not gonna like go. You need to just learn enough. You just need to learn enough to gain experience. And then from the experience, you can learn more. and then you keep going, and you've got to just repeat that. So most of your time needs to be spent, most of your capacity needs to be used and spent on gaining experience, as opposed to just simply gaining more knowledge, book knowledge, right? I understand. So this is here's a business example of it for you, right? We've got the real estate business. I've learned and took the time, and I developed a batch of ads, right? I learned copy and I did the ads and this and this and this. We got results. We got good results, and our sales pipeline filled up. But then we had to catch ourselves of trying to go back, instead of just doing the real actions and gaining the experience from it, the full experience, which should be you go through each lead, you follow up with each lead, you take them, you ask them for, what's the thing where it's the reviews? You ask them for like reviews and testimonials, and you actually talk to each customer, and then you adjust your marketing. Instead, we had to catch ourselves from just trying to go back and like, okay, how can we do more marketing to fill it up? That's a good example of this. That's a good example, because you're never growing enough to actually increase the capacity to handle more. And also, if you were forcing the growth and we're forcing ourselves to gain the full experience by carrying those leads all the way through, we're going to be better off for when we're going to know more things to research, to put in and have more effective marketing. This is pretty important. Capacity is pretty important. It definitely plays a role, and I'm going to take time this weekend. I've got it free for the most part, and I'm really just going to draw out like everything I tried self-improvement wise, what it got me versus my ideal framework if I was going to go back and do it again. And then hopefully you can take the kind of conceptual lessons of outcome dependence, of identity, of capacity, and a bunch of the other stuff that I'll teach, and put it against that. And that way you can kind of like see your roadmap, see the tools to test it. My bad, guys, I'm drinking this fucking shit. See the tools to test it and continue that way. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I hope you guys are too. I mean, there's really no one watching this shit, but it's fun for me and I'm enjoying it. And if it helps one person, it helps one person. So thanks, guys. Take care. Be better.